Hi, my name is Kiara Cooper, and this is my presentation for tips for beginning educators through the University of West Georgia, and this is for educational psychology. In my presentation, I will cover two psychological topics. They are instruction and assessment. These are the two topics that I chose for my field experiences. The first psychological topic that I chose was instruction. In instruction, I chose to focus on classroom management, which is very important in any classroom. It consists of the practices and procedures that a teacher uses to maintain an environment in which the instruction and learning can occur. So, for this to happen, teachers must have a well settled environment. Um, Not necessary, but it is important to have procedures and routines in place so that students will understand what is expected of them. So it is very important to have expectations lined out early. And next, we'll talk about behaviorism, which is also very important because that is typically learning through environmental interactions. Um, all behaviors are conditioned and they can be shown in different ways. Um, just as we learn through environmental interactions, we learn through reinforcement and punishments. For example, teachers reward students at the end of the week for good behaviors is would be a reward. However, this also works for punishments. So they can be taken away if behaviors are negatively shown. And during my field experiences, I did see um, positive and negative behaviors shown. In the first field experience, I did witness um, students being rewarded with a treasure chest and students not getting their reward for acting out. However, they received an award for not continuing the behavior, the negative behavior. So, having a first year classroom or having a classroom in general, you will see different behaviors, and all of this is explained within our text. However, it is also explained through behaviorism. Um, so, as a first year teacher, you will see many different behaviors, whether positive, negative. You'll see students wanting to participate in activities and students not wanting to participate in activities. All of this is encompassed in behaviorism, um, which also leads into classroom management. And classroom management is an ongoing concern for teachers. One student can equal 25 different student behaviors. Um, Classroom management is very important, um, because if a teacher does not have a well managed classroom, they you can't expect for good behaviors to just randomly take place. In order to have classroom management, you have to have an effective teacher. In order to be an effective teacher, you have to know how to have patience. You must have empathy. You must be able to um, deliver your lesson plans accordingly. You might need to set up your classroom in a certain way to where it is inviting or welcoming to the students. There's a lot of things that I could go into when it talks about classroom management, but if it's not a well organized classroom, um, and there is no structure, there's not going to be a lot of success within that classroom. The next topic that I chose was assessments. And for my assessments, I chose to observe formative assessments. These are assessments that can be done by just observing, or um, just having students grade each other's work, or having students complete a fill in the blank and you checking it off, or just simple assessments where you can observe what they're doing. You can work on pattern recognition or colors and shapes, and just allow them to point to different shapes, and just let them know if they're correct or not. Simple task of task analysis, or just writing, filling in a blank, allowing the students to fill in a blank, and you just marking a check or an X if they've got the right or incorrect word. Simple assessments. For my first tip that I chose, have patience and show empathy. As a first year teacher, these are very important. You have to have patience because, for one, everything will not go as you plan it. And that's something that you can't plan everything. Some days you just have to be confident and expect the unexpected. In our text, we are told that unplanned moments can prompt previous plans to be dropped. So you have to follow the flow of discussion. Different things can happen. You might have a fire drill that happens unexpectedly, or a principal that just walks into your classroom. We don't expect these things. There might be a teacher emergency in the next room and you have to run over there real quick. We can't just expect these things, and you can't just plan for everything. Showing empathy. The loudest and disruptive student might be seeking attention, and maybe that's not what they're doing. Maybe they're seeking your assistance with something. Maybe that they need help with an assignment, or maybe it's that they just can't handle their emotions right now. Um, we have to be there for our students and not be against them. The second tip that I had was to design, deliver, and assess. How will your classroom be set up? Will it be comfortable? Will it be a safe learning environment? Will you have displays on your walls? Or will it be chaotic and messy? How do you want your students to walk into your classroom? For delivery, routines and procedures, do you want hands on materials? Do you want textbooks? Or are your daily lessons going to be computerized? Are they going to be paper? How do you plan to deliver your lessons, assessments? How are you going to gauge your understanding of your students? Um, how are you going to know what they can and cannot do? Um, you have to look at the design, the delivery, and the assessments for your students. My third tip: teach, listen, and learn. We all want to teach our students. However, sometimes we don't want to listen. But then again, we always learn new things. You can teach in a simple and fun way that allows students to grasp the material. You can listen to your students, even if they're saying the most off the wall things. Listen to them, and you can learn a lot. Just like they're learning from you, you're learning from them. And it's really important to teach them, to listen to them, and to learn from them. And my last tip is to know the difference, to be the difference. Everyone might not have a good morning. Your students might come in and they may have the worst morning, or they've had the worst night, but we have to be there for them and not be against them. You come in with a positive attitude and they will see that positive attitude. You don't want negative behaviors from your students. Don't show them negative behaviors. Be positive in everything that you do, everything that you say, because I guarantee there's always one student paying attention to what you're saying, to what you're doing, and they're either copying it or they're repeating it. So we're students too. Even as a teacher, you continue to learn. So you're still a student. But even though you are a student, you still have to know the difference to be the difference. You know the difference because you are the teacher of that classroom. But you also be the difference that they need you to be. Thank you.